Our services have gone online 24/7. You want a passport renewal, you can do that. You want to incorporate a new business, set up a new company, 20 minutes is done. You want to pay your taxes, IRAS, no trouble. And the government is also communicating and engaging with Singaporeans online. You're not just pumping out stuff. We have some quite interesting stuff which we are pumping out. We have some video clips, I think MDA showing the way. Some of you may remember Christopher Chia, who is the CEO. Turns out he's a very good hip-hop dancer. But also two-way engagement and participation. And Reach is at the forefront of that because Reach, feedback, they need to engage people. So they've got a website, which is popular, and they've got blogs, online chats, and so on. And they also participate on Facebook. And you get quite a lot of participation. For my rally today, I got a lot of feedback from Reach, and the subjects which I'm talking about are the subjects which are hot on Reach. So you look at this, their homepage, what do you find? Rising cost of living. Hot topics. So that's the way the government works, that's the way Singaporeans work. And that's the way we will have to adjust in order to conduct our politics. We have to adapt to this, get used to this, turn it to positive effect, use it to inform, to educate, engage people. And each of us has to learn. It's not something which you learn to mouse click, you're there. You must learn how to be savvy cyber citizens. Don't get taken in. Be discerning about what you see on the internet. When people say click here, check first before you click. When people say this is true, don't just send it to all your friends. Ask first, is this true? Set prudent limits so that we can flag problems and we know where the dangerous ground is. Participate actively by all means, but don't get swept away. And please don't catch mad cow madness. Our rules governing politics also must keep up to date. First of all, party political films. That means films about political matters. Right now, they are totally banned, and for a reason. Because politics is a serious affair, we want voters to consider issues rationally, coolly, detached, think through decisions which affect your future, and make a considered judgment. And our worry is that films are an emotive medium. The impact of seeing something on a film is quite different from reading something in cold print. It hits you viscerally. It engages your emotions before your thinking processes can kick in. And if you're watching it in a crowd, even more powerful, then passions can get stirred up and people can get carried away. I think this is a valid concern, but I don't think an outright ban is still sensible. Because this is how people communicate on the web in daily life. They make videos, they pass clips around. You saw the clips just now from the Flying Dutchman. Even my NDR, National Day Rally speech is now National Day Rally Multimedia Super Show. Has to be, because that's the way you have to communicate. And after the speech, videos, blog responses. And people make these things. Anybody can do this anytime, anywhere. And let me show you. I have a handphone here. It's an ordinary Nokia handphone. There's a handphone which has a little program loaded in it called Quick, Q-I-K. And what Quick does is to turn this handphone into a video camera. If I click it, it will turn on, become a video camera. And furthermore, it will stream the picture immediately onto the internet, onto my website. So if I turn on the camera now, and I'm filming you now, you look on my website, you can see yourself. And I think we must make sure we see the upstairs people too. Slight delay, but it works. So please wave, you're on candid camera. There you are. Simple as that. I've just made our first non-political video. So, we've got to allow political videos, but with some safeguards. Some things are obviously all right. Factual footage, documentaries, recordings of live events. I think National Day rally, surely no problem. But I think some things should still be off limits. If you make a political commercial so that it's purely made up material, partisan stuff, footage distorted to create a slanted impression. I think those should still be off limits. In between what is okay and what is not okay, there will be gray areas. But I think we can deal with this. Just as we deal with it for non-political films. We have censorship, we have classification standards. It depends on subjective judgment. But we've worked out a workable system. A panel applies their minds. They make a judgment. I think we can work something out. But the overriding consideration is to preserve the integrity and the quality and the honesty of our political discourse. Keep it straight, keep it serious, think carefully about serious matters which concern our lives. The second thing we should change are the rules for political material which can be put onto the internet during elections. The rules we now have were settled before the last general elections. So, for example, and they're very restrictive. No podcasts, no video casts. And most people can't post materials during the election period. Only the parties, only the candidates, the agents can do that. By the next general election, 5 years will have passed. Now, cyber years are like dog years. 1 year in cyberspace equals to 7 years in real life. That's the pace at which things change. So 5 years times 7 means 35 years in the real world, means our old rules are way, way out of date. Means we have to change to new rules, liberalize, to allow people to participate more actively and flexibly. So you must allow podcasts, videocasts, must be allowed to post other election materials also. But we have to maintain or try to maintain accountability and responsibility somehow. It's not easy to do this. Do not think that other countries do not face these problems. They do. The Koreans are very exercised about this. Every time I meet them, I exchange notes with them and they ask us how we intend to deal with it. And I ask them how they are dealing with it. They don't have an answer, but it's a real problem. We have an advisory council on the impact of new media on society, AIMS. Mr. Cheong Yip Sing is chairing it and is studying these issues in detail. They've been thinking about this, I think, for quite many months now. I look forward to seeing the recommendations. But let me say that beyond cyberspace, politics is about people's lives in the real world. You can't vote for an avatar on Second Life. We are talking about real life, not Second Life. You have to get a direct feel for the person. Do you trust him? Is he capable? Is he honest? Will he wilt? So you've got to talk, you've got to argue, you've got to persuade. And then you've got to mobilize and work together for what you together believe in. And you can't just do this online, reading emails or even listening to podcasts or watching vodcasts. You have to do it face to face. And we do this all the time. Grassroots sessions, dialogues, meetings. We are a small society, so it's possible for us to interact and get to know one another well. You cannot have make-believe, because if the Prime Minister is just an image on the screen, everybody will know he's just an image on the screen. He has to be here in real life, and you have to feel the person, and then you will know. So that's how politics has to be done. We have a few restraints because we can't afford to take chances with race and religion. But by and large, Singaporeans are free to engage, to talk, to mobilize, to influence one another, to do nearly everything, especially indoors, where we lifted the limits a few years ago. There's one remaining restriction, and that's on outdoor demonstrations. We still don't allow this, and our concern is law and order and security. It comes back to race and religion again, because one incident could undermine our racial harmony and confidence in Singapore. But again, like political videos, valid concern, but we have to move away from this total ban. And find ways to allow people to let off steam a little bit more, but safely. How? We have a speaker's corner at Hong Lim Park. Well-defined location, accessible, near the MRT. Not so many speakers, but if you want to go there, there's place. Just put your name down and you can speak. So I think that we should allow outdoor public demonstrations also at the speaker's corner. Still subject to basic rules of law and order, and still stay away from race, language, and religion. I think we'll still call it speaker's corner. No need to call it demonstrators' corner. But we will manage it with a light touch. So I think there's no need for the police to get involved. We will hand this over. Mao Bao-tan has agreed, and Parks will take over. And NParks, the green fingers, everything will grow nicely. It will be well in hand. And I think we should look into online registration for Speaker's Corner, so you don't have to go to the office. The overall thrust of all these changes is to liberalize our society, to widen the space for expression and participation. We encourage more citizens to engage in debate, to participate in building our shared future. And we will progressively open up our system even more. If you compare today with 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it's much more open today. And we will continue to feel our way forward. We can't just progress by copying others blindly. We've got to think through our own problems, ourselves, find the right path for Singapore, crossing a river by feeling for the stones step by step, as Deng Xiaoping said. But please remember, even in the cyber age, some things don't change. In 50 years' time, Singapore will still be a little red dot. To thrive as a nation, we will still need the cohesion to stay united, the ability to outperform others, and the will to survive and excel, and occasionally win medals. And that means a hard-working and well-educated population, a capable, effective government, outstanding people at all levels, totally committed to Singapore. Then, however the world changes, our children will still have a bright future. Before I leave this subject on new media, I want to do one more demonstration. Hello, Team Singapore.
Good evening, PM.
Hello, Eng Liang.
Yes, I'm the chef de mission of the Singapore Olympic team in Beijing. Sorry, PM, we just lost the gold medal to China. They are a better team with better skills and technique, but our paddlers tried the best and they did play well.
Thank you. We heard the results earlier. I shared it with my audience earlier. Our paddlers have done very well and they've done Singapore proud. Please thank them from us. Jia Wei, Tian Wei, Yue Gu, but also the whole Team Singapore in Beijing. You've done us proud. You've carried our flag high.
Yes, we will do that. Thank you. I think Prime Minister. So we will, I think, carry on with the flag of Singapore, and I think with this silver medal, we have achieved the objective. Thank you for your messages.
Thank you. Send our greetings and congratulations to the team.
Yes, I will do that.
Good night, Eng Liang.
Yeah. Good night. Yeah. Bye.